Mother declared that existence would improve in my absence, so I allowed her to demonstrate it. Come Thursday, invoices lay neglected, my siblings sobbed, and child welfare officials showed up at the entrance. "We're exhausted by your habit of centering all issues on yourself," she announced, gliding the endorsed contract across the screen of the device I'd acquired for her. "This confines you to fraternal responsibilities alone. Stop feigning the role of their guardian. Affix your signature." My younger relatives, aged 15 and 17, lingered in her wake, staring with icy detachment. "Clara, your importance is overstated. No one solicited your involvement." The contradiction hung palpably. My youth concluded when I turned 10, as I stepped into the parental void for my siblings' sake, even as our actual parent chased fleeting romances with her companions. She queried me just days prior about when my sister Alina might mature into womanhood. Her cycle began 3 years back. I grinned while inking the document, meeting each of their stares, brimming with presumption. So why not voice it plainly? If you desire a mere sibling, that's precisely what you'll receive. They exchanged glances of triumph as though they'd claimed a fortune. The following dawn, I stirred to Mother's triumphant recital. "Affairs feel vastly improved already," she broadcast to her latest companion via loudspeaker. I ought to have asserted control long ago. My siblings roamed the dwelling, jubilant in their conquest, devouring provisions I'd prepped over the weekend and donning garments I'd laundered. "This embodies a genuine household dynamic," Mother proclaimed to the entire space, "not the Clara regime." At that juncture, I resolved to deliver precisely their demand. On Monday dawn, I indulged in my inaugural cafe repast from the coffee chain and experimented with the chilled styling fad. In the interim, Mother discovered the stark truth that adolescents don't rouse themselves. My brother Marco missed his initial class assessment. Alina materialized at midday clad in prior day's attire, her locks disheveled, sans funds for her morning meal. Mother received a reprimand at her employment for tardiness exceeding 2 hours, unaware of the dawn regimen's demands. By Thursday, the residence had narrated its own tale. I re-entered to behold my brother in his gym garb for standard lessons, as all alternatives reeked of perspiration. Mother was mid-call, pleading with the service provider for leniency. She hadn't grasped that payments carried deadlines. "Hey, Clara," my brother remarked offhandedly, as if harmony prevailed. "Swift assistance, could you fetch me antiperspirant on your errands?" Regretfully, that ventures beyond fraternal limits. "Come now, sis, spare the spite." Spiteful, I accessed the contract via my device. It explicitly mandates sibling tasks exclusively. "Procuring items for you resembles guardianship." He retreated, muttering about my sentimentality. The scent trailed him for 7 more days. Alina faced her symphonic showcase that Saturday. I observed from the spectators as she ascended the platform in her creased, blemished formal gown, which I customarily sent for professional refresh. Guardians murmured, and youngsters gestured. When her instructor later queried Mother regarding the apparel protocol issue, I interjected audibly for all to catch. "Oh, we've undergone a domestic reconfiguration," I stated amiably. I'd encroached by managing her performance wardrobe, so Mother assumes command for the inaugural instance. "Correct, Mother." Mother's complexion paled as fellow guardians pivoted to scrutinize. "We're adjusting arrangements." She compelled me to endorse this pact, I clarified, displaying it to the educator. "I'm barred from substituting as their guardian henceforth. Merely a sibling. No more Clara oversight." The instructor's visage shifted from perplexed to alarmed. Alina dashed to the lavatory, weeping, while Mother remained rooted, encircled by judging onlookers. Midweek Eve, my communicator buzzed. Miss Schneider, the academic advisor, initiated contact. "Clara, this concerns apprehensions over your relatives' well-being. Numerous faculty have flagged issues. I possess no sway over my kin," I conveyed. "They've underscored that emphatically, yet you've historically managed." "No. They've delineated their confines, and honoring them falls to me." 20 minutes on, my mother barreled into my quarters, saline streaming down her face. "Please, Clara, welfare authorities approach. Should they witness the premises in this state, in what state? You recognize the disarray? The unwashed vessels, the soiled fabrics, the barren larder, your brother's scholastic decline. Astonishing. That demands substantial parental labor. Fortunate you're present to assist. I'm imploring you, solely this instance, aid in tidying prior to their arrival." The entry chime sounded. We both halted. The visitor rapped. "Greetings, Miss Laurent, Child Welfare Division. We've fielded grave notifications." Mother shot me a panicked glance. I offered a gentle curve of lips. Beyond the portal, I noted the inspector's survey of the ruin. Utensils sprouted fuzz in the basin. Waste heaps teetered. My brother sported identical athletic wear from Monday onward. She crossed the sill and her demeanor morphed entirely. The reek assaulted her initially. I discerned it from her nasal flinch. Subsequently, her orbs expanded upon absorbing the galley, where verdant mildew colonized stacked crockery, and refused sacks slumped against barriers, insects orbiting them. Marco loomed in the identical soiled athletic top from half a fortnight past, bearing prominent ochre blotches beneath his limbs. The inspector swiftly retrieved her slate and commenced capturing visuals. Mother lingered immobile, statue-like, amid the shutter snaps. The inspector meandered to the parlor, snapping further of the discarded containers littering the rug and the mound of tainted linens on the settee. She peered into the cold chamber and recoiled upon finding it devoid, barring a decayed vessel of erstwhile remnants. Mother roused and commenced rapid discourse. This merely a dismal phase. We're routinely far more structured. The inspector pivoted, her gaze signaling disbelief. Miss Laurent, we've logged diverse alerts from your offspring's institution over recent fortnights regarding persistent worries. She summoned data on her slate. Your male offspring has donned identical garb for days. Your female arrived at her performance unsuitably attired. Both youths have voiced starvation to educators. Mother's lips parted and sealed repeatedly, fish-like. I must confer with each youth in isolation. Commencing with Clara. She directed to the feasting slab, unusually vacant as I'd utilized it for studies. Mother sought to trail, but the inspector elevated a palm. Confidentially, Miss Laurent. We settled, and she bestowed a kind regard. Clara, I comprehend recent shifts in your domicile. I extracted my communicator and exhibited the pact archived in my gallery. My mother coerced this endorsement a fortnight prior. Her forehead creased perusing it. She mandated your compliance? I affirmed. She accused me of self-absorption and urged sibling focus alone. The inspector inscribed annotations. What duties did you fulfill pre-pact? I inhaled deeply, all facets. She elevated her gaze. Elaborate, please. Thus I commenced enumeration. I roused them daily at 6:30, prepared dawn sustenance, assembled midday provisions, ensured pristine attire, aided nocturnal studies, concocted evening fare, managed all fabric cleansing, settled dues digitally as mother navigates devices poorly, arranged medicinal visits, attended scholastic parental sessions when mother prioritized elsewhere. The inspector's digits danced briskly over her interface. For how extended, I computed mentally, from age 10. She ceased inscription, decade commencing at 10, I inclined. Mother courted a suitor averse to juveniles, rendering her scarce. The inspector sought particulars, and I recounted fully. How I instructed Elena on her monthly flux upon onset, unnoticed by mother. How I mimicked mother's script on authorization forms she'd overlooked. I mastered culinary arts via online tutorials, as budget barred frequent deliveries and mother solely managed grains. She desired Elena subsequent, and my sister entered with tresses knotted and a blouse marred by edibles. Upon the inspector's query of recent affairs, Elena dissolved in sobs. Starvation gnaws constantly, she wailed. Mother neglects provisions, I lack midday funds, and cereals my sole craft, yet dairy depleted. She detailed the showcase, how peers jeered her ensemble. Clara ensured its freshness and crispness, but absent intervention, mother overlooked professional care. She confessed ignorance of fabric cleanser operation, heating apparatus, or main hygiene, as I'd guided all. Marco followed, seeming irked as if inconvenienced. The inspector probed his attire circumstance. Indeed, this garb lingers, he conceded with a lift of shoulders. Laundry eludes me. She urged explication, and he bristled. Instruction never came, fine. Clara handled it seamlessly. He cited the forfeited evaluation from unroused slumber, and mother ignorant of his curriculum. She attempted algebraic aid yesterday, yet algebra baffled her. The inspector queried sustenance, and he noted cereal abundance and residual nibbles from prior stocks. I expended my natal fund remnants on fast fare yesterday. At length, mother's sequence arrived, entering with poise as if poised to rectify. We overheard fragments from the lounge, the inspector quizzing on chronologies and mother clueless on scholastic commencement. Upon educator nomenclature, mother blanked entirely, unaware of Elena's sensitivity or Marco's visual correction need. Then mother's timbre escalated. This stems from Clara's malice. She's retaliating over the pact coercion. The inspector's tone stayed serene. Miss Laurent, irrespective of Clara's actions or inactions, you hold parental duty. Mother ranted of my sabotage intent, but the inspector interposed. Recite your son's academic tier, your daughter's footwear dimension, their recent oral hygiene visits. Quietude. The inspector reemerged and dialed openly before us. Affirmative, urgent measures required, she relayed. The abode unfit for occupancy. Evident deprivation. The youths lack proper nourishment or garb. Mother wept and clutched my limb. Assure them of your aid. Declare this transient. I regarded her placidly. You exacted that pact, recall. Within the hour, 2 additional welfare agents materialized with ledgers and lenses. They canvassed zones, snapping and scripting. They unearthed a lavatory harboring dark spores in the basin and commode uncleaned a fortnight. They chronicled the void cold unit, surging refuse, and peak of soiled utensils. One located Alina's crimson undergarments in her chamber from her recent flux mishandling, abandoned on the planking. Upon query, she erupted anew, avowing helplessness sans my guidance. The lead evaluator glided in a somber conveyance and perused the dossiers. A senior figure with silvered mane, versed in myriad woes. Post-review of captures and entries, she confronted Mother gravely. Miss Laurent, per today's discoveries, were enacting crisis safeguarding for both juveniles. Mother collapsed, keening. I beseech, nay, merely grant adjustment span.